from Basic Boulevard, Rockbound Avenue. This is Cellar County with Butch and Cofi.
What is up, guys?
Oh man!
Happy Turkey Week!
Happy Turkey Week. We're about to. Oh, this is about to be a week. Well, it's about to be a week in general. We're gonna have Steelers and Ravens on Thanksgiving. But before we get to Thanksgiving, let's talk about other games that happened this Sunday. Let's talk about your Lions. What they do? What they do, Butch?
What happened to your Bears?
We had a bye week. We had a bye week.
Wait, that's right. You guys had a bye week. You guys got spared the suffering that we had to endure. If you guys are coming for an epic Butch rant, you guys have come to the wrong place, because this week was, with all doubts, the perfect summarization of 2020. Not just did the Lions lay an egg to the Carolina Panthers, they did it against a XFL starting quarterback in PJ Walker.
Oh yeah, that guy.
I liked him when he was on the Roughnecks.
Can we just say for a brief moment that the XFL, when it came back, when they were playing, it was actually good TV.
It was good TV, and the teams were actually watchable, unlike the AAF. And I'm actually looking forward to the XFL coming back.
We will talk about the AAF. We have a plan for the AAF in the near future.
The whole PJ Walker thing was a game the Lions were expected to win.
But you guys were expected to dominate.
I
wouldn't say dominate, but you were at least expected to win.
I expected a trap game. This is a trap game because this is a game the Lions should win, but they will lose.
You didn't just lose, you got shut out 20-0.
There are so many calls right now asking for Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia's heads to roll down Woodward right now. The blood is on the walls. It's just one shield going to pull the trigger. Everyone wants her to do it right now. Everyone wants her to do it on Thanksgiving, on Black Friday.
That would be like probably the worst.
Man,
that'd be an early Christmas. That'd be your Christmas present if you got it on Black Friday.
It would be a great Christmas present, but the question is, the interim coach wins 4 or 5 games to end the season. We're going to have the wrong guy and keep around parts of the regime. This whole thing needs to get blown up and stripped apart in a car in an automotive shop. And the most disheartening thing, man, is just like Thanksgiving is a time to reflect and a time to be thankful for things. I'm not thankful for these fucking Lions. What have they ever brought me in my goddamn fucking life? All I've seen is constant losing season after losing season, an 0-16 season, no playoff wins, and no division titles.
Can I just say one thing to make you feel better? You almost had one playoff win, but you got screwed out of it.
Yeah.
You almost had one, and you got screwed out of
it. Yeah, that one hurt my soul, man. But no one talks about the Sam Martin botched punt the play after. Petty just kicked it downfield instead of kicking 11 freaking yards. Maybe would have had a chance to stop Dallas, but I mean, we've had 2 generational talents walk out on us in our lifetimes. We're probably gonna have 3, depending on how his offseason goes with Matthew Stafford. It hurts my soul, man. Every other team has won at least something. Every other team has something to show for it. I'm coming from a sports town where we had the Wings dominate in the late 90s and early 2000s. We had a Pistons team pull off one of the greatest upsets in NBA history. And even the Tigers made a couple of World Series titles that were relevant in the AL Central. But this Lions team, man, I mean, we can't get a footing anywhere. We hire stupid people after stupid people. We let Matt Millen run this team into the ground for over half a decade. And we've wasted the career of Matthew Stafford, who was supposed to be his beacon of shining hope after an 0-16 season. And it's the same shit year after year after year after motherfucking year.
You know, when I'm thinking more about Matt Stafford, I'm always thinking, like, how many players that were generational talents end up on a team that just fall apart? I'm not just saying the Lions, I'm just saying in general. How many guys that were generational talents end up on a team and just waste their years, waste their whole potential.
How many have you seen gone past 10 years? Well, let's look at that. What does he have to show for it? No playoff wins, no division titles, just stats. That's it. All those comeback wins, like what, 32 or 33 or whatever the number is, no one gives a shit about those. I love the guy, but goddamn, he hasn't done anything here in Detroit. And we could have gone after Tua with the 3rd overall pick, and this regime fucked it up because they wanted to have a win-now mentality. So, Sunday was depressing. I didn't watch the game. I knew they were going to lose, but I didn't expect them to be blown out and get shut out for the first time since Matthew Stafford's rookie season. When you only put up 185 yards of total offense, you know something's wrong with that regime. And your defense, your supposed rocket scientist head coach sucks ass.
Can I just say that basically, in terms of just all the stats in general, that Carolina just doubled everything. They doubled you in turnovers. They doubled you in first downs. They basically doubled you in touchdowns.
And the last
they tripled you in interceptions, which basically was, you can't triple zero. You can't double zero, but still though.
I think in the last 2 or 3 games leading up to it, they only forced 2 punts. The Lions got forced 6 in the first half. It was that bad. We played like garbage against the XFL quarterback, which props to PJ Walker for winning his first.
You probably earned yourself a job somewhere in the NFL. You probably just earned yourself a job.
Hopefully, it'd be nice to see some XFL players matriculate to the NFL.
That was the whole thing with the XFL, is we thought, okay, the XFL is not going to be the be-all, end-all for some of these guys, but it could give them more attention to the NFL. It's like, oh, hey, there's this guy. He was so in college, but here he is. He's killing the XFL. Maybe we should bring him in next season. That's what the XFL was kind of was to me.
The XFL was actually a really good revival, and
it was done right, and then the pandemic screwed it all up.
Well, it's awesome to see that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson wants to reinvest and wants to give it a second season.
My only wish, Dwayne, is that most of the staff most of the front office, the administration that was running the league, you bring them back. Except definitely don't bring Vince McMahon back into this.
Before we move on, the only thing I want to say about the XFL, move it to cities that don't have don't have NFL franchises. St. Louis was a great pick for the XFL, but why you have teams in Houston, in LA, it boggles my mind, man.
You know what they should do though? Maybe find place teams in non-cities that don't have like NFL teams, but have like a demand for football. Like St. Louis is like the perfect thing. But I'm thinking like one place they could possibly go, like if the NFL was ever serious about making expansion to Canada, you can always have a Canadian team in the XFL.
Very true.
You could definitely, and you could bring some of that CFL talent in there.
You could even do Mexico. I mean, let's be honest. You could try experiment down there. Maybe the NFL could study that and see if it's even possible to expand.
It is a possibility. Like maybe, yeah, it is a possibility.
We were talking about places PJ Walker could go and start. I know a place he could immediately go start at: Cincinnati.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Joe Burrow's rookie season.
Joe Burrow, man. I actually went back and I saw it and I thought, this couldn't have happened to a better guy. This guy was...
These injuries are supposed to be preventable. They're supposed to be preventable. This isn't supposed to happen in the NFL with all the protections they put on quarterbacks and whatnot. I mean, you're talking about a torn ACL, torn MCL. This isn't just a season ender. This could be a potential career disruptor. This is going to be hard to come back from.
Unfortunately, that's the nature of the NFL. That's the sport. I mean, injuries are going to happen. Sometimes they're going to be serious. Sometimes they're just going to be. But the goal is you try to prevent as many of them as you can.
Are you angry at the NFL or the Cincinnati Bengals for not?
I'm more angry at that shitty O-line that let that hit happen.
It's just so disheartening to
But
see
I
a
look
young.
at NFL injuries, and I look at a good deal of them as like that injuries happen. That's the nature of the sport. They're gonna happen. But I do applaud the NFL for finally taking steps like, okay, we're gonna try take steps to cut down on these injuries. And for the most part, I'd say they've been successful. Yes, they
For the
still
most part.
happen, but for the most part, they at the very least, if the injuries still happen, they have better care for it now.
Yeah, and I know the Bengals weren't really that good. If we're
No, they're
being
not.
100,
But this was the guy I wanted to see succeed. Even though I'm not a huge fan of the Bengals, I wanted to see him succeed, and this hurts.
it's honestly kind of a black eye because you had a decent rookie class coming in. And Burrow was the front contender. He was the heavy favorite to be
All,
rookie of the year.
all I can say is Bengals. Look at this now. Now, Bengals, you better start looking to the draft because you cannot do anything for the rest. You are
Toast.
effectively in limbo. It doesn't matter if you somehow manage to win all games. That still doesn't matter because you don't have a quarterback.
You are buttery limbo, that is for sure. Another surprise, and I know I really don't like talking about them. How about the Cleveland Browns? One win away from their first winning season since 2002. Blows my
I
mind.
would actually love that. I would actually love to see that happen because it shows that hey, if you start dismantling everything, you can losers can become winners, and the Browns, if they get their first winning season, it'd be like, all right, you guys finally you're starting to turn the corner for real.
Question is right now, will they finish ahead of the Ravens in the AFC North standings?
The way the Ravens are going.
I'd say
Man.
it's possible, but this is Cleveland. I predict a late season collapse. Would this be funny they lost their last 6 games and missed out on a winning season? Because they did do that.
That would be as bad as that Pittsburgh collapse a few years back.
Yep. Oh
Just
boy.
as bad.
Man, you are trying to really dig into that. They had a good game, and now they're coming into their biggest test of the season, their last final test of the season before they really have a chance to go undefeated. But we'll get to that a little later. Cleveland, enjoy it while you can. I feel like reality is gonna come down hard on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking around here.
One thing I did say, because someone pointed this out to me, if you go back and you watch the Raiders Chiefs game, there was an audible. I think it's the mics really picked up the audible. And you know what the audible's name was?
What?
James Harden. I'm not kidding. Look that up. Look that up right now. He's like, say something. He's like, James Harden, Mike, James Harden. I was dying because it was exactly when he said James Harden. I'm like, why? I can only imagine he's gonna run it, and he did.
The last memorable one I really remember was Peyton Manning's Omaha.
Omaha's just iconic now. It's forever gonna be associated with him.
But James Harden, oh boy.
Yeah, Google that right now.
I'll Google in a second here. Chiefs played a really close game. And I'm not saying anything bad about the Raiders, but I thought this was a game they were going to walk away with. And
I would say as much as I hate the Ravens, I mean not the Ravens, the Raiders, as much as I hate the Raiders, I could say one thing. They sometimes have the ability to pull off some crazy stuff, crazy wins and they can make crazy challenges.
They've had some really good wins this year. They beat the Chiefs earlier in the season. They beat the Browns. They surprised the Saints a while back, but they've had some, I don't want to call them questionable losses. I mean, they lost against the Patriots. They lost a really close game against the Bills, in which they honestly probably should have won.
Yeah.
I mean, Derek Carr's a legit threat.
Yeah,
I mean,
Derek Carr is one of those quarterbacks where everyone's like, okay, he's not he wouldn't be our starter, but if he was available, we would pick him up.
He's not a Super Bowl winning quarterback, but he is a playoff contending quarterback. He is a quarterback that could get you to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And for the Davis family, that's apparently good enough for the Raiders. For Mark Davis's ugly little haircut and his P.F. Chang diet.
Oh my God. All right, so anything else you want to say to this week? I mean, these past games. I do want to say one more thing, is that congratulations to the Rams. You proved me wrong against the Buccaneers because I legit thought you were gonna get. I thought you were gonna get beat, but you proved me wrong, and you basically told me that, you know what?
What the hell was that? Because I was serious. I was all set. I had hands down on Tom Brady. I thought this was going to be a good week for him. It blew my mind.
He just, I wouldn't say he got outplayed, but if you were expecting Tom Brady to just go off and do Tom Brady things, you didn't fully see that. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys, because I'm just going by memory because I didn't see play.
Oh.
What were you watching?
There's breaking news right now out of Baltimore.
What happened?
Baltimore has canceled its practices after rolling more COVID tests on Tuesday.
Ooh.
5 players and 4 staff have tested positive, and this is within 48 hours before the Steelers game. There is a good chance we're not going to get the 3rd game on Thanksgiving.
The one game everyone actually cares about, we're not going to see it.
I'm not even going to justify that with a response. How dare you?
Well, are you really going to watch Redskins? Are you really going to watch Redskins Cowboys?
Listen. The Lions Thanksgiving game is tradition. I don't care what people say about it. You know, it should be on. You're forcing us to watch a shitty team. It's the one thing the Lions have to look forward to every year. It is the equivalent of our Super Bowl. No team will be able to take that away from us. And I will say this right now. I have an announcement to make. The Calvin Johnson jersey is coming out of retirement on Thursday. It will be worn on Thursday for the duration of the game, and that is it. This is the only time.
And you might be able to see him in that Calvin Johnson jersey when we do the post Thanksgiving recap.
Probably sloshed after 5 or 6 shots of Jim Beam to kind of cool my nerves after we get blown up by Deshaun Watson and the Texans. Man, we are about to lose. We're only 3-point underdogs, but we're about to get blown up.
Look at it this way. It's better for you to lose to the Texans than lose to the Bears again.
But see, I would rather play the Bears. See, that's the thing about Detroit.
Because you would actually win this year. You could actually win this year against the Bears.
Detroit doesn't have that many rivalries it plays on Thanksgiving, with the exception of the Bears and the Packers. Texans, the reason why I don't want to play them is because it reminds us of the Adrian Foster touchdown in which our head coach threw the frickin' challenge flag when the guy was clearly down, and it nullified the play, which meant the play fucking stood, and we ended up losing goddamn overtime. And that was in the midst of a 6-game losing streak. Thanksgiving losing streak we had dating back to 2007. Man, that game fucking hurt my soul. And this is going to be a freaking repeat of that, man.
Hey, I'm not fully riding you guys off yet. I mean, when I look at these 3 games on Thanksgiving, I see your team being like not the team that's most likely to lose. I would put down the Ravens if they play, because Washington and Dallas.
Washington and Dallas. Getting with them.
They have both seen better days.
They are in a 3-way tie for 2nd place, and the garbage heap that is the NFC East.
Yes.
The word garbage heap gets overused a lot, folks, but you cannot describe that division any better. There's no winning team in that division. In fact, if I'm checking right now at the NFC East, The Eagles are 3-6-1. They lose one more game, they're guaranteed not to have a winning season. Any of these teams lose one more fucking game, they're not guaranteed a winning season. Think about that. This is what we're confined to, having a team host a fucking playoff game. And you're throwing Dallas on national television to play the fucking Redskins.
Because they do every Thanksgiving. I don't know why. Who? Okay, you know what? Let me rephrase that. I was gonna say who gives a shit about these two teams, but then I thought, okay, the Cowboys are America's team, but no one gets. But America's team looks like a fucking dumpster fire ever since week 1.
They've been a dumpster fire since the 90s.
They've been a dumpster fire, but this year's just really been the dumpster fire year for them. And most of it's not their fault. It's just shitty injuries. It's shitty.
Whereas you have a actual good game, the third game, the game that people have wanted. We got
because this is because if you told me at the beginning of the season what could have been the AFC Championship, I would have said this game. If the Chiefs were going to be in it, it was going to be this game.
I really like this matchup. These are two teams that are, well, one team's kind of cold. The other team is literally on fire.
The other team has become possibly the only answer to the Chiefs not making the Super Bowl.
And the only team that might actually threaten, I know I'm saying this, and I might get some flack for this, the only current team that might really threaten the 72 Dolphins' perfect season record.
Don't say that. Knock on wood. Okay, you know what? Let me say this. I think, personally, that ever since the Dolphins did it, going undefeated is almost a jinx of itself. Because it only takes one game. Because I look back at the Patriots when they almost did, and they lost to Giants. You were one game away from perfection, and let's just say there were a few miracles in that game.
This is the only game I could possibly see the Steelers losing the rest of the season.
Okay, let me see what other games the Steelers play. Let me
Washington. All right, I'll read it through. Versus Washington.
That's a win.
At the Bills.
That's a win.
At the Bengals.
That's a win.
Versus the Colts. And finally
I would say a fully win, but I would say it's a win, but that's a big if.
At the Browns.
That's a win.
There you go. I see if we're
for the Colts. So say for the Colts, the Ravens are the only team that seem like they could defeat the Steelers. Big Ben.
And Butch's lock of the week. I am confirming the Steelers are going to be undefeated after Thursday. I will put my turkey dinner on the line and see this juicy dub. The other two games are toss-ups. I'll say Houston takes the first game. And in a surprising feat, Alex Smith gets his second win as a starter of the season and goes into Jerry World and blows it up.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Texans, Washington, Steelers are my pick. But and feel free to hate me on this. I see more of a chance of the Texans pulling away from the Lions as just like a general win. I don't think it's going to be close. Like it might be close, but it's not going to be close where it comes down to the last drive.
It's going to be a blowout.
I would say, bro. I would say at least they win by at least a touchdown.
I'll say 2 or 3.
I'm reading the spread. The spread on the one sheet I'm looking at says it's 3. They got 3 points.
You're an expert now for reading the spread. Oh, there you go, Cofi.
It doesn't help. I'm actually just reading all these different because
the spread doesn't mean shit when you're the Lions. They piss on the spread. So you're saying the
Lions would make it close, like they will win by less than 3 points. I mean, lose by less than 3 points.
Yes. No.
I will hold you to that. I will hold you to that.
God. Oh God, kill me now.
I will hold you to it that the Lions are going to lose by more than 3 points, and you say that the Lions are going to lose by less than 3 points. What if it's exactly 3 points? I'll give God. I'll be generous. I'll be generous on Thanksgiving. I will give you the tie if they win by 3. If they lose by 3 points.
Gotcha.
Three or less points, you win. Anything else, I win.
I know this. We generally eat dinner on Thanksgiving around halftime of the Lions game, and usually by then I'm usually choking on my turkey dinner, trying to fathom why the Lions are down by 20 points, or why we're losing to shitty quarterbacks who don't really deserve to be playing in the NFL. Hint to last year. I still can't get over that loss. Even though it was a really close game and actually an entertaining one, we should never lost that game to the Bears. That one was a nutcracker right there. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Gobble gobble.
Happy Thanksgiving. This is Cellar County. We will see you guys on Thursday, probably Friday, and have a happy Thanksgiving.
It was well, folks. Take it easy.